Hello everyone, welcome to Core Talks. I'm Denise Posnack-Gaffney, coming to you live at 1:30 p.m. in New York City. Today, I am going to talk about how your core can help you find balance. Balance physically, balance just in your life. And I'm next to this book column here, which is stacked so beautifully. There is a bookshelf that has different little, there's several shelves on here that you can't see, but this concept of this really aligned, what could be unstable, a lot of people ask me, oh, is the baby knocking that over? It's very stable because it has an aligned base, and it's just a nice little symbol for us. How can we stack it all up so that we can find balance in our bodies and in our lives? So I get a lot of people coming into the studio or into the online classes who are really feel like they don't have good balance. This is a kind of common thought. A lot of people are afraid to go to a yoga class because when you're in a yoga class, oftentimes you'll have to stand on one foot in the middle of the room with all these people around you, and what happens if you fall over and there's a domino effect and you ruin the whole class? Or you might have to stand on your head, or stand on your arms, lifting your legs up. There is a challenge I think we have with balance. And then as we get older, of course, it becomes a much more essential question. Are we balanced? Because we could fall on the street and break our hip or break our wrist or whatever it is. Not having balance could be a very dangerous thing. So as a young dancer, I always struggled with the balance portions of class. When we were supposed to balance in the middle of the room and do all these grand things with our legs, I would always get really nervous because I really didn't have good balance. I was one of those people who felt uncomfortable with that. And it wasn't until I learned about my core and till I started to connect everything together, just like this bookshelf back here that you can't see is connecting all these books together. It wasn't until then that I started to feel comfortable with balance. I felt like I actually could do it if I wanted to, that it was under my control, if you will. And balance isn't all about controlling, but I had access to balance. So why was that? A huge part of the reason that I wasn't balanced before and that you may not feel balanced is that we have a lot of moving parts in our body, right? We've got the knees and the ankles and the shoulders and the ribs and the sternum and the collarbone. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of muscles, there's a lot of bones, there's a lot of connective tissue, and if that's not aligned and stacked, just like these books, in a singular way, then it's really hard to balance all of those moving pieces. And when you find your deep core muscles, and the main one that I've talked about is the transverse abdominis, which is like a back brace. It's like this nice cinching together deep abdominal muscle that's connected to your lower back. When you find those muscles, or that muscle in conjunction with the others, you actually are able to connect all these moving parts. They have a direction. They have a place to go. They have a place to stabilize. And balance becomes a lot easier. So you may be, if you just think of your hips and your ribs and your head, we'll just think of those three sort of main bony places in our body in a skeleton. They need to be aligned, head on top of ribs, on top of hips. And most of us, because of the lack of our core strength, have extreme curves in our spine, which rotate our hips back. The butt might be up a little bit, Ribs might be splaying forward, head might be in front of the neck. And when those three major bony points on the body are not in alignment, it is really, really hard to stack them and balance. So once we understand those core muscles, and I've given you several exercises that you can start to do to build those, then we can restack and align these major places and balance becomes so much easier. So we're gonna physically try that in a little bit. And now I just wanna take it into our life application. So it's the same thing, right? We have a lot of moving pieces in our life. We have our schedules, which for me, and I don't know about you, but I have a very mobile schedule. It's different every week. There's things that come up all the time. There are days where it's like, oh crap, I forgot I need to do that. That's today. Oh, and then there's these outside things. For example, tax season is here. April 15th is coming up. There are deadlines that come in from outside that we forget about. Our lives are very, there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot of spinning plates. And if we don't find a core focus, a core self, a core mantra, if you will, we will be, like I was in dance class, very unstable. We will be trying to manage all of these pieces, and it feels very chaotic, and there will be no balance. So, what we do in the body, if we can apply it to our life, we can find these same things. We can find balance. So, we're going to start with the physical exercise today, and then I'm going to give you the spiritual life exercise, okay? So let's go ahead and stand up. I'm going to get here. And we're going to try to do just a balance. So if balance is a challenge for you, awesome. This is going to really, who's here? Hi, Heather. Hey, how you doing? If balance is a challenge for you, then this is going to be great because you'll hopefully be able to apply this. Again, if you haven't really understood the core muscles and you haven't had a lot of experience with them, this might not make sense to you. This is sort of further down the road. Once we really understand how to engage, it may help you today. It may be something you need to bring in later once you understand your core muscles. So, balancing. We're going to balance on our toes. So I just want you to stand and just let everything kind of hang and just be in whatever position you're in. I'm going to do it to the side so you can see how I'm just going to sort of stand like most people that I meet stand, with my hips sort of falling back. And I've talked about these three bony places: the head, the ribs, and the hips, and them being stacked. So for most of us, the hips are back here, the ribs are here, and the head might be somewhat in front of us or kind of just off, okay? So, I'm just going to stand like that, and I'm not going to do anything with my legs. I'm not going to try to align, and I'm going to try to go up onto my toes. So, just by going up onto my toes, I have a forward fall if I try to do that. So that's a wobbly sense. Now, maybe you're back here. Maybe this is your posture, okay? Now, if you're in this position and I try to go up onto my toes without aligning, first of all, I can't do it. Second of all, if I'm trying it, I'm going to want to fall backward, right? So how do I go up and stack up? I begin to engage my core muscles. So I'm going to go back into the posture that I see most often, which is ribs splaying forward and hips back. And if you have a mirror, it would be great for you to check this out in the mirror. Now I'm going to ask my core muscles to draw. We talked about the zipper from pubic bone to belly button. Draw up so that that pelvis is in alignment. Draw in so that the ribs come into alignment. And cinch up so I have all of this energy, these excess moving parts coming in, centering in. And because they're close to me and because they're engaged, I can take that energy and go straight up. And I have energy, I'm thinking in here as I'm going up. and then I'm going down. So try that. So just get yourself and be in your normal position, and then start to bring your pubic bone to your belly button to engage this line. Keep that energy. Bring the navel back so that the ribs can come and connect into that. Bring the waistline in. And then I also want you to think about the inner thighs and the legs coming into this core place. And one more thought, crown of the head straight up. Now, holding all of that energy in, and by holding I mean activating and engaging, start to take that energy up. I talk about walking down the street with your core, not with your legs. So how can you just take the core up one level? As you're doing that, don't allow yourself to release, or else you're going to fall out of it. So that's your balance exercise. Now you can also do this on one leg. So same idea. We're going to stack everything up. We're going to gather the waistline in, pull the energy in, activate the center, keep the center tight. Now as you're doing that, and you shift over to one leg, so now that core has just shifted over a little bit. It's still engaged. And then we lift the other knee. Again, paying attention not to lifting the knee, but to engaging into the core. And if we do it slowly, with deliberation, with that strength, with that energy, with that focus, then it's much easier to balance. And then we can put the leg down. So those are that's your physical exercise. Hey Meadow. Meadow has done this kind of work with me. The super engagement in, the connecting to balance. So connecting so that's your distilled balance exercise today. Okay, again, we're finding that column of strength. We're using those core muscles. We're taking the core up instead of our whole self up, or lifting up onto the toes. Meadow's here for 2 minutes. Yay, 2 minutes. I love 2 minutes. Woohoo. And here is your life application, spiritual, however you want to see it, exercise for finding the core of your week. So ideally, you have a core sort of mantra through line through your week, through your year, it is your theme, the thing that you come back to. So all those moving parts, your schedule, everything that's wild and crazy in your life actually is following this same sort of path. Now that's a challenge. It's like a long time to get all that going. So what I'm going to ask you to do for today, or just for this afternoon, for the rest of the day, is to just glance at your schedule, look at it, fine, great. Think about what you want to accomplish today, okay? Whatever that is. Just start there. That's just your starting point, and write that down. So this morning for me, it was about how to expand my business so that I am doing a little bit more in terms of like typical business success. I'm bringing in more clients. How am I going to do that? What do I want? I want to expand that. And start with that at the top. And then start to get to the core of that. So let's say it's I want to make money today. So you start with money. Then draw a line down and put the next word that feels like, what is it about that you want? Okay, I want abundance. Then go to that. Well, what is it about abundance that I want? Oh, I want freedom. And then drop it down. What is it about freedom that I want? I want peace. And drop that down. And what is it about peace that I want? Or what is it? I want to feel one with life and one with the moment. So today, and then you find your actual core for the day. Hold that, circle it, grab it, write it down, put it on your chest, do what you need to do, and use that as your guide to how you're gonna do the rest of this day, how you're going to balance the moving pieces, your schedule. What is the mantra in it? So if you have to run from here to there, you have to go shopping, then you got to go, to your nail appointment, and then you got to go pick up the kids, and then you got whatever it is. what was the one thing that you distilled today? What is your core of your day, core of your schedule, so that you can balance all those moving pieces and really connect them to that idea? Okay, so we'll do it in the body, and we do it in our lives, and just try it. See how it works for you. See if it's helpful to think like that. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. And I will see you on Friday. Friday's the last day of March. I said I'd do these talks through March, so I might extend them into April. But thank you, Heather. I would love to connect with you, Heather, on all this stuff now that you're a new mom too. So anyways, have an awesome day. Enjoy your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.